Well, this one currently, we're if I've to look at the level of supply shock that we've got in the system, like, and supply shock is just this word, but you can measure that quantitatively. So, you look across blockchain, grab all the, cluster all the wallets, and then determine all the individuals by forensically analyzing them, and then you go. Okay, who are the guys that hodl? Who are the guys that are traders and speculative? And then you run a ratio of how many coins. Supply shock is essentially the amount of supply of Bitcoin that you can get versus the supply that you can't get. And so one view of supply shock is how many coins do the speculators have, because you probably can get the coins off the speculators because they buy and sell, but you won't be able to get the coins off the hodlers, the Michael Saylors of this world. He ain't selling, right? So it's simply a ratio of those coins you can't get to the coins you can get. I flipped it so that visually um, it tracks price. Actually, it tracks price very, very closely, except this last 2 months where supply shock's been ramping up and price is going down, which we call that, classic divergence. And it's very, very seldom you see this at that. Well, I've never seen one at that scale before in the 12-year on-chain history of Bitcoin. We had one October last year, and that resolved in a squeeze, right? It squeezed from 10,000 to 60. And so the supply shock now is at the same level as where we were when we were range bound in the 50, 60,000. So all we need is really the sentiment of traders who really determine the short term pricing of Bitcoin to switch bullish to the same level of bullish FOMO that you saw, pre-May, April, first quarter type zone, where they started to price a premium into Bitcoin above, the fundamentals. Normally, you see the price above the fundamentals, in a bull market, and then it gets even more, frothy towards the end, is when it just gets out of hand and it's way above what, the long-term guys are supporting the price at. So once that flips, the price, the current supply shock, we deserve to be in the 50, 60,000 range. Once we break 42, that's the long-term sort of line in the sand of the channel we've been playing at. And it's just really just a big gap from there to 50. 42 to 50 is just a gap. So if we break 42, it's not going to be much time to get to 50. So, yeah.
And what you think we'll consolidate again around 50, 60 for a while?
Yeah, I think we'll take a little bit more time to slice through. Like, I wouldn't expect us to slice right through, but anything can happen. I kind of expect that we'd just retest some of that zone in there, because we spent so long playing around in that zone of discovering 50 to 60. And then, wow, if we break all-time high from what is that, 64? What was the all-time high? I can't even remember.
It was around 64, yeah. I mean, I got the
Yeah,
chart.
if we break that, then we'll be off to the races again. And having done that with a very nice, long, kind of 2 to 3 month consolidation back down to test lows. It's a very interesting kind of. It's definitely one of these things I've never seen before on the blockchain, the Bitcoin price action, where, instead of a dump, a wick down, rejects, and it goes back up. The people dumping were just so capitalized that they dumped so many coins that the people that buying the dip, which was the plebs, everybody, took a while. Like, took 2 months to absorb it, to the point that the supply shock has started now.